AI generated content is improving at an exponential rate, and we're pretty much already at the point where you can't trust anything you see on the internet. So let's talk about it. First of all, I just want to say that I like AI. I am not an AI hater. I use AI all the time. It's super useful to me as a creator, but also I acknowledge that it's probably going to frig the whole world up. What really blows my mind about this technology is that it was only 3 years ago, 2022, when people actually started hearing about AI image generators for the first time. Here's some examples of things they made back then. Lo-fi nuclear war to relax and study to. Stephen Hawking in Rocket League. Dashcam footage from driver's car crashing into Shrek. Obviously, these are not super high quality images, and there was a better image generator at the time called DALL-E 2, but nobody could access it because it was in beta, so people were using something called DALL-E Mini, which you see here, which is a very simple version of it, and it uses a 3x3 grid of images. So you kind of get like the gist of it in the 9 images, and it was super novel at the time, and honestly, I got a huge kick out of it. Obviously, these images of Mark Zuckerberg as a ventriloquist doll are not very convincing. You can tell they're made with AI. I remember one of the first posts I came across that actually made me like do a double take because I didn't realize it was AI at first. Old lady building her nest on a cliff face. This is only a few months after AI images started floating around the internet. And I think I knew at this point that things were never going to be the same. I don't need to tell you how convincing AI content is these days because you're on the internet right now watching a YouTube video. You've come across AI generated content many times, and you've probably been fooled once or twice by it. I just feel like we're rapidly approaching a point where AI is just going to completely destroy the internet because no one's going to want to go on the internet and just be bombarded with fake content, especially as it gets more and more real to the point where you're not sure what's actually real and what's fake. Only 2 years ago in 2023, the Will Smith eating spaghetti video dropped and people lost their minds. And of course, you can tell that this is AI generated. Okay, I think you can tell from a couple of the pixels. I think there might be just like a couple things wrong with this that might sort of, hint that it's not real. Well, guess what? It's 2025 now, and Will Smith is much better at eating spaghetti. Bro, that's literally Will Smith eating spaghetti. I like the old one better. The old one is much funnier. This isn't funny anymore. It was hilarious watching Will Smith eat spaghetti in 2023, and now it's terrifying. I'm so scared that someone's gonna generate a video of me eating spaghetti. I don't do that. I don't eat spaghetti. Obviously, I'm joking because spaghetti is delicious, and if you don't agree with me, then we can fight about it if you want. So what I want to do now is I want to watch some brand new AI generated videos. There's a new AI video generator that just came out called Veo 3. It's from Google, and it is pretty mind-blowing. Veo 3 is Google's advanced AI video generator that creates highly realistic videos, including dialogue and sound effects based on user prompts. Man, they could barely get Will Smith to eat spaghetti, and now you can have whole conversations happening in an AI-generated video. AI-generated people can ask you how much wood a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
I gotta say, this one is extra crazy because of the fact that there's an entire crowd of people saying the same thing. I didn't even realize they were this good, okay? Until the other day when I saw this and I was like, Jesus Christ. The crazy part about it is if you just take a 1-second clip from a video, you can't really tell that it's AI. You need a little bit longer to see what's going on. But of course, this is not a very realistic situation, so you could probably figure it out.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Another thing that I find fascinating about this is that in these videos, you have multiple people and they're actually interacting with the person, for example, this witch who's speaking here. The other ladies are sort of they're vibing with her.
Could chuck wood.
They're watching her. They're like, yeah. Yes, good question. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck? The lady in the middle here is not the subject of the video.
Would a woodchuck?
But everything she does looks real.
much
So
wood
she's got her
would
hand
a
in there, and then she
woodchuck
looks at this
chuck?
lady, and this lady
If
looks
a
at her, and then she
woodchuck
looks down
could
here, and then she
chuck
looks over
wood.
here, and then she goes, oh, like, bro. I don't know what the hell they're smoking at Google, guys, but this feels like a huge leap forward for technology, and maybe a huge leap towards the complete demise of society at the same time.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Dad, please. I thought you sat me down to talk about the divorce.
We are on our way to Jurassic Park. I am so excited. I've always wanted to go, and finally we are doing it. It's gonna be great.
The way they look at each other in these videos is so strange because it's like so natural, you know? It's like she's looking at him for reassurance, right? But they're not real. I guess it's trained on videos where people do that, right? I mean, at the end of the day, all this stuff is trained on real videos, so yeah. There's even a checkbox on YouTube that allows Google to use your videos for AI training. But like, why would I check that? What do I get out of that? If you're going to pay me for it, sure. But otherwise, nah, I think I'll just not do that. The fun part of these videos is trying to actually see the inconsistencies and the things that give it away, but it's getting so difficult.
Right, Jason?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Okay, bye.
All right, we're here.
Like, there's no way to tell this isn't real at this point. Like, really. Even some of like the way it looks might look a little strange, but sometimes that's just the way videos look when you upload them to the internet, right? And a big part that makes these so convincing is the fact that they're not like, 4K quality or anything. They get uploaded to Twitter and then they get deep fried immediately. Now you might probably be able to tell that this is AI generated because, spoiler alert, dinosaurs aren't real.
Okay, guys, nice and easy, or he will definitely bite your hand off. Got it?
Like that looked very AI generated. Aside from the dinosaur, the way that guy spoke. Sometimes AI has a very like flat way of speaking, Did you guys learn anything from the frigging Jurassic Park movies? You don't want the smoke. Stay away from the dinosaurs. Oh, that's pretty cute though, guys. Like that is pretty cute.
Thank you for coming to Jurassic Park.
Again, it just looks so real, man. I feel like the main negative thing you can say about these videos, aside from the implications of this technology, is just that it's not super high quality. But part of that is the fact that it's uploaded on Twitter. And also, in a few years, it's just going to be so much better. I feel like you're just going to need a bigger and bigger magnifying glass each time they release a new version of this in order to actually tell if it's AI or not. And we're already at the point where you can't really tell unless that dinosaurs aren't real, which obviously they are, but they're extinct. I believe in dinosaurs, I promise. When these videos were just videos and not also audio, it was definitely also easier to tell, but now they also have audio in them.
Are you serious right now? I can't believe you!
Jeez, lady! Calm down! You're yelling in the microphone! How many viral TikToks are going to be coming out in the next infinite years that just aren't real? How many situations, like, people already make stuff up on the internet. A lot of what goes around like on the internet as like popular content is like either satire or something like that. Like the mom who has the bratty kid who does all this stuff, like, I don't care, mom. And like, I can tell that it's all fake, not AI generated, just, everybody's in on it, but people don't realize it. And I can only imagine how much worse that's going to get. Back in the day, back in the 90s, it was chainmail, and now it's AI generated content. It's like you wouldn't scroll past this poor disabled veteran with no legs, would you? I love the captions on this. Are you Saliri right now?
You are unbelievable.
You are Benivabella. People have been saying it for years, okay? I know. I feel like probably the worst implication of this technology of all is the fact that world leaders, when they're caught on video doing really awful things, are going to say, that wasn't me. That was AI. Like, remember when the Access Hollywood tape came out where Trump said, grab her by the you-know-what? If that had happened today, he probably would have said, that's not me. That's AI generated. Fake news. There's no way Hollywood won't be affected by this. I created this whole scene in less than 2 hours using VO3, Magnific, Suno, and CapCut. The cambric explosion of content has already started. Is that Marty McFly? Oh wow, bro. So real, so convincing. Yeah, we're not even gonna need Hollywood anymore, bro. Bro, did you just open the book backwards? At least if you're gonna say that something is like gonna completely end Hollywood, it should be a little more convincing than that. Nah, bro, this is what they're gonna use in the new season of Stranger Things. Has that show ended yet? I don't watch it. Cool dragon, bro. Yeah, you know what? That's what I would do too if a dragon came at me. I would lie down on the ground just like that. Smart. I'm not saying it isn't a little bit impressive, but we're not exactly at the point where it's going to replace visual effects in Hollywood level movies. And I think the big problem with AI is that it's just so inconsistent, you know? You kind of need someone who knows what they're doing and not just an algorithm to make your stuff for you.
Should you get a portal to Narnia from IKEA? Let's review.
Okay, let me look at that face again, lady.
Let's review.
Yeah, that was weird. You look weird.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about this thing is it has heated seats.
Heated seats in the UFO. Wow.
Check this out. Look at that, just slice right through.
No, it didn't. That was terrible. You didn't get anywhere through that cheese, bro. You should just use a regular knife that doesn't have a laser coming off of it.
Slice right through.
No.
The N9 portable fusion reactor is small and almost meltdown free. Almost.
It's a little flat, guys. Some of this content is a little bit flat.
You think you know what's real, but you don't, and you never did.
No, I'm pretty sure I could tell the difference, okay? Probably because you spelled never did, never smudge diod.
We are living the craziest of times.
I mean, I will admit these are pretty crazy times we're in, guys.
¿Cómo se dice hamburguesa en inglés?
Burger.
What? In some ways, I feel like this is going to be a passing fad in the same way that AI images were a passing fad for a long time, where people wanted to make them, and then people just got tired of seeing AI images everywhere. Like, wow, good for you. You can make an image that looks real. Like, I'm going to go do something useful with my time. Like, there's only so many times you can watch some interesting scenario happen in a video before you just don't crave the novelty anymore. You know, I'm not craving this novelty. I don't need to see these things happen. Unless it's in a movie with a story, I don't really care. Storytelling is really important, especially these days, especially on YouTube where people actually want to connect with people. You know, like, I'm not just an AI generated video doing some weird thing for you. Like, I'm talking about real things. I'm talking about my feelings. AI doesn't have feelings, so it just ends up telling you things that sound like it has feelings.
My parents shouldn't let me play with this toy.
Okay, first of all, you are not a child. You probably don't need to listen to your parents anymore. And second of all, I think you just broke your legs.
I'm 40, but I feel like I'm 25.
Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.
You know, none of this is real, right? It's all just AI?
See, that's the problem with men. They think us women are just AI prompts.
I have a feeling that the next Haktua girl is going to be an AI-generated woman, which might actually be a good thing because then she won't try and scam everybody with a shitcoin.
Have you heard about the prompt theory going viral on TikTok?
Prompt theory? No, what's that?
The theory claims we're all just AI.
AI? No, I'm a Taurus.
Okay, one more video. This is another AI Street interview. I think this one's really interesting because the guy is talking to the girl. And then you just, like I said before, the people who aren't really the subject, they act like real people. Like, this girl's just hanging out with her friend. She's watching the interviewer. She's looking at her friend.
It's over. We are cooked.
She laughs. She covers her mouth when her friend is talking. Like,
You get me?
it's pretty freaky. All right, I'm going to stop there. I just wanted to show you where AI videos are at right now because it is both fascinating and terrifying. And if you have any opinions, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. As for me personally, I'm not that concerned about getting replaced by AI because I'm a human being with a personality, and that's something that AI has a pretty hard time replicating for now.